Incredibles 2 is written and directed by Brad Bird and stars Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Sarah Vowell, Huck Milner, Samuel L. Jackson, Catherine Keener, and Bob Odenkirk, and takes place directly after the events of the first film in 2004, with the Parr family now taking on a new villain in the form of the Screenslaver, while working together as a family in a world where superheroes are illegal. We have been waiting 14 years for this movie, and finally the wait is over. The question is, has the wait been worth it? For me, yes it has. This is a good Pixar movie. It has everything that you loved about the first Incredibles, just kind of done again in new, faster, and sometimes more intense ways. And also has a few extensions, some few new things that I didn't see coming that I absolutely loved. The story feels natural. It doesn't feel forced like a lot of sequels. Here we have Elastigirl being the hero. She is hired by this company to try and make superheroes legal again. So she goes off on her own little missions to make superheroes the big new thing, while Robert is left at home with the kids, and he's really struggling with that. So they kind of have that divide, and it's a great subversion of the first film where Robert would go off and be the hero. He's Mr. Incredible. He can go fight the bad guys while Elastigirl is at home. The way that Brad Bird uses that and the way that he puts in all the action beats and all the comedy beats in both scenarios is fantastic. All of the action sequences in this movie, particularly one where Elastigirl has to save a bunch of helicopters, and also when she's saving a hover train, they are just so perfectly animated, so perfectly structured. The music with Michael Giacchino, he has that quality about him, that energy, that movement that he uses. It makes everything feel so much more epic. And then we have the comedy beats, and they are absolutely hilarious. They kept me laughing well after I saw this movie. The main characters for the Parr family, they all go through their little things, kind of similar to the first one, but with a few changes. And Jack, well, he's something else. And that's the big new addition that I said before. I did not see this coming, that Jack would actually be the best part of this movie. Every single thing that involves Jack steals every single scene of this movie, and he never ever says a single word of dialogue. It's just pure physical comedy. The fact that he has all these powers makes him a perfect comic foil. He can just do so many different things with him. He's like a Swiss Army knife, and so great watching everything with him. I found that the pacing of this movie was so lightning quick, which can make you feel like, oh wow, we're just on this wild adventure, but I wanted it to slow down a bit more. One of the great things about the first Incredibles was that, say, when Bob is on Syndrome's lair and he's trying to investigate and find out what happened to all the old superheroes, it's this kind of really cool slow sequence that feels like a spy film. Whereas this movie, it's just like, okay, set piece, action beat, comedy beat, all this kind of crazy stuff. It just feels like a big sugar rush. And the villain is a big letdown because Syndrome is just so great in the first movie. Screenslaver is kind of okay at first, but what they do with that character just doesn't feel like anything new that we've ever seen. Feels like another generic Marvel villain, which I'd really hoped that we had moved away from. And the identity twist behind who Screenslaver is, yeah, you can see that coming pretty early on. In the end, I had fun watching Incredibles 2. It's what we wanted from an Incredibles sequel. It's great to see all these characters back again. Jack is hilarious. Michael Giacchino's score is fantastic. Brad Bird and his animators have all done a fantastic job with wonderful comedy, incredible action sequences. This movie is just a perfectly satisfying sugar rush, and I'd say that Incredibles 2 is a So Incredibles 2, have you seen it? What did you think about it? What did you think about this review? Let me know in the comments below. If you want more Mr. Movies, click the channel link coming up right here, and thanks for watching.